I'm Miss Elliot. This is my classroom. I teach U.S. history and AP psychology. We can see my word wall. Right now we're focusing on the Cold War as well as civil rights movement. So we have a variety of images along with their terms or names. I use a lot of color because color has been proven to help in terms of encoding it into your long-term memory. I have what is past as prologue. I try to use that quote in what I teach in terms of making what is history relevant to what is happening in the present. Keep going on, we see I have a lot of books behind my desk. Those are accessible to all students. They focus on, what is it called? History and AP psychology. We also see on my file cabinet that I have student artwork along with photographs in case students would like to know a little bit more about me. Over here we have my phone jail. Essentially, if students are on their phone when they're not supposed to, it goes here. They can also use this as a charging station when they need to. Next to that, we have where they turn in their work. It's labeled by their period. Next to that, we have a president, listing all the presidents, their order, their name, along with fun facts and images. They can reference these as we are going through units. On top of that, we have just some imagery from my school that I graduated from. Just a sign that says whether or not they're allowed to use their phone, as well as a clock so they can keep track, as well as myself. Underneath the smart board, I have our kind of memorial to the Berlin Wall that we learned about during the Cold War. That features student artwork about how they would feel about a wall being put up between Mexico and the United States. Next to that, I have how I feel about history, but also a infographic that tells you about World War II, which they can reference during the World War II unit. Next to that, I have images from the March on Washington, the Great Depression, Truman's election, the first flight into space, Kennedy's election, the women's rights movement, as well as some quotes that I find to be personally moving, and hopefully it is to them as well. Then next to that, I have just more resources, whether it's flashcards they need, dictionaries they need, textbooks, rulers, clipboards, any of that. Then next to that, I have Keys to Success with FRQ. That's for my AP psychology class, as well as the experimental methods that we focus on during research methods unit. I also have a diagram of the brain along with parts and functions that they can reference as we're going through. I have a timeline of the Cold War unit. Right now it's just the Cold War, but when we go to the civil rights, underneath there will be civil rights, so they can kind of see that things are simultaneously happening throughout history. It's not just one or the other. On top of the Cold War, I have optics, which is a tool they should use when analyzing pictures or political cartoons or photographs. It's just supposed to be a way for them to learn analytical skills. Next to that, I have pipettes, which is for excerpts. It's the same thing in terms of building those analytical skills that maybe they do or do not have. Then on top of my whiteboard, I have significant key figures through history that I personally like, but also that are in our lessons, and just potential quotes that I think are important to that person and what you should know about them, or just I think is moving, to say the least. And then just on my whiteboard, I just have information that they need to know for both classes. As well, I have my Rosie Riveter propaganda poster from World War II. That's also motivational, so double-edged sword there. We also have my bulletin board, which houses my syllabus, along with just some motivational stuff, along with information. So if there's something going on in the school, they can go ahead and reference it there. And then below that, I have basically all of their supplies, whether it be dictionaries, again, note cards, extra chapter readings they may need, and all that. And so this is my class, and that's it.